top 3 phrases of the evening so far.
So,
I like stick talk.
stick tuck.
I like that too.
It wasn't in stick talk.
It wasn't.
I don't know if you heard my reaction.
I did.
But
Pink face.
Um,
Oh, wow.
so what do we like? What has to stay? What needs to be added? What do we like? What do we like? What was fun? Anybody?
I finally got up. I guess that's a thing. I thought about that last night. I'm like, wow, you know, Marty, you haven't stood up since you sat down.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of was thinking through the story.
Sure.
And I mean, obviously the story, we've got, 5 hours of work, and it's actually only going to be like 20 minutes or 15 minutes at the most.
Sure.
So, but I still thought about the fact that I hadn't gotten up. So I like the fact that I got up to do the shtick with the John Wayne and putting the resume on the table and doing my John Wayne.
Yeah.
Your John Wayne impression is coming along quite nicely.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
I don't sound
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the John Wayne impression is great.
Okay.
And your description of Texas attire was good too.
I did. I thought about
And
that.
they're pearl snaps.
Oh, pearl snaps. They aren't pearl buttons, right?
That way you can just go
Pearl snaps.
stick your finger in and pull it out
Pop,
and
pop, pop,
pop open.
Lubbock drums here.
Lubbock,
That's what I'm here for.
Lubbock, Texas.
Pink face.
Yeah.
Where was Pink Face? Where was Pink Face? Pink Face was actually before.
Yeah, that was just
You need to work,
my-
right?
That was
Put Pink
Bob.
Face in.
Yeah.
Being Bob. What else?
So, yeah, go ahead.
No, I as an odd, because John's at this moment is a little bit of an audience member to his story. And I was like, I do want to know what happened to that camp.
No, I agree.
And I like where that was starting to go.
Yeah.
Because for John, it really is a possible movie.
Sure.
I could go to a conversion camp. It's something he hasn't touched yet. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Right. Yeah.
that was some serious interest there.
No, I agree with you. I think that, if we think about like the camp movies, where there's like, I think about Meatballs,
And his bears.
Friday the 13th, right?
Different tone, but yeah.
Well, different tone, but at the same time, I mean, totally Waters' world. I mean,
Yeah.
why Waters would do, I mean, it would have a completely different feel, but if Waters had a camp like that, I mean, there'd be kids fucking up a storm and there'd be consequences,
Right. What was
and
that
then
one-
why, Divine and Pink Flamingos is not that far from Jason,
What's the movie where Christy McNichol and
Little Darlings.
Little Darlings. Christy McNichol and Tatum O'Neal lose their virginity, or they make a bet to lose their virginity.
Yeah.
And Christy McNichol loses hers to, what's his name? He was so dreamy, and I so had a crush on him. Now, see, I've got him in my head. I guess.
blonde curly hair?
No, he black hair. Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon. He's the one.
He's still dreaming,
Matt
right?
Dillon. Yeah, Matt Dillon is the one.
He still looks like he's.
Yeah, he does.
He's
He still looks like he did in the Outsiders.
Matt Dillon, Boint, and Tatum O'Neal. No, not Tatum. No, is that right? Tatum O'Neal had wanted to have sex with the counselor. Little Darling. Gotta find that movie on Netflix. It's gonna be a good one.
I like that the camp counselors were Hispanic.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. We were talking about if you were going to spread it around. You guys put it in Florida because of the Anita Bryant and the orange juice, which makes perfect sense. So if it's going to be in Florida, then it provides you an opportunity to not just Hispanic but also Cuban, right?
Right.
So, and this is a thing too. It's very weird, and it doesn't bother me, and it does. It doesn't bother me because I'm of the mind that there's nothing wrong with being gay, but at the same time, there is this huge movement of Latin American writers, especially Cuban writers, and I think it's just because of like stacking up the whole minority thing. All the really famous Cuban writers are gay. Nilo Cruz, Reinaldo Arenas, What's her name? She wrote that book, Ruins. It's a great book.
Oh.
She's a Chicagoan.
Yeah.
OCHEBS. Anyway, it's big. It just seems if you were to take all the living Cuban writers of note right now, there's just
They're all queer.
they are. Most of them are queer, and so
Almost.
but regardless of that, there is a queer Hispanic. There is also a queer Hispanic thing, and I think that if we're going to do this, you should kind of sort of. There's a part of me that almost thinks that it's like there should be these moments where there's things that are coming out of Divine that are in earnest, right? He's really telling you about it. And the other thing too is that you can also talk about the amazing Cuban food, things like that. And then the thing is that this is the one thing though. It is great to have him tell the stories. But the thing about John is that John is not the audience. John is the storyteller. And I think that and John has a furtive mind. And one of the things that we need to figure out eventually, it doesn't all have to happen tonight, is there needs to be these moments as Divine is telling you the stories where Divine's reality is not enough.
Okay.
And, so Divine starts talking to you about the Cuban counselor with the short shorts and the chest tattoo that says "Mi Madre" and he's talking about this guy. But even as he's saying things, there's got to be a part where John's like, "Oh, I wish he was Carmen Miranda, and I wish he was the Chiquita Banana."
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like there's this wish fulfillment that
Wishing that the story had
more flair.
more flair. Okay.
You let him decide where he's going, but there needs to be this point where it's like, if he says, there was this Hispanic camp counselor, oh my God, Chiquita Banana, and you start telling him what you visualize. You do the pitchman thing, right? It's a medium. And someone says, so tell me what you've got, and you get what they get, and now you try to sell what you think will sell.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And there needs to be these moments where that happens, and I think even Divine's got to be like, John, and slow you down and put his part of the story back in.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Well,
I think it doesn't. You don't need to keep interrupting the whole time. But I just don't want to fall into this place where John does what Wally does, right? Yes, and then what happened? And then what happened? And then what happened? We need you to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll invent some for now just to get the machine moving.
Yeah.
And then maybe totally whatever stupid.
Yeah, no worries.
So you'll get it. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I had something I thought was missing. But
Yeah.
actually, you sort of answered my question. Maybe we're just getting closer to finding the play. I'm really missing Divine.
Yeah.
The character of Divine, the clown Divine.
Sure.
The more he tells these stories, I'm like, well, so have you not gotten your Divine outfit? I mean, if you're back from the dead, wouldn't the first thing you want to do is get your Divine clothes? I mean, that's where I'm. It's close to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's all great, but here's your Divine costume.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Because it gets boring to John. Yeah.
I think that perfect. Which
Yeah,
is
we're on the same page.
yeah.
I'm coming at it from over here.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. No, I agree.
It seems like since he doesn't want to be Divine anymore, any moment where you get bored is like the opportunity to elaborate. And maybe we can see some of Divine, seep through Glenn anyway, even though he's trying to
Totally.
hold it back. And that might be the Divine presence that we're missing.
Yeah. I'm not really too worried about it. I think right now, I think that you both will put on the skin later. I think that we just gotta
find it.
we've got to find the events in the story first, and then we can worry about the same way you put on the accent. We can worry about the accent, the Divine accent, and that. I think that if we're talking about things that are missing too, is it doesn't have to. It could happen during the conversion story, or it can happen during here, which is all of this. Trying to change so people don't want to change, the fear, the pain, the rejection. If I was different, can I try to be straight? And whether or not this is a conversation that he has with I keep using a little diminutive, but whether he has this with the Cuban camp counselor, or whether, and this is what I think is actually interesting, this comes out of you, because rather than being gay, this is the artistic equivalence of gay, straight, right?
Sure.
Camp, straight. You know, low art, redeeming art. You know what I mean? So the idea is that as this inner turmoil, this inner conflict that I've been kind of hinting at when it comes to Divine's homosexuality or Divine's femininity, that's better than homosexuality, Divine's femininity, that for John, it comes out with this whole Peter Brook thing, you know, which is they're gonna make, you know what? They're gonna say things about us. And I'll tell you what, when I do Pink Flamingos, I'm in control of the mockery. You know, but when I do King Lear, they get to mock me on their terms. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
At least for, I mean, that's something that I've artistically felt when you're talking about sometimes stretching into, you know what I mean? If I suddenly decided we're going to do Neil Simon, we are going to do the Brighton Beach trilogy, you know, for me, or something even more realistic, because I actually do think it's a brilliant piece of writing. I think The Odd Couple is a brilliant piece of writing.
It's written very well.
I think it's a brilliant piece of writing. And it's the kind of thing that if somebody put a gun to my head and said I had to do Neil Simon, I'd want to do The Odd Couple, because there's a lot of pain actually in that whole thing. Jack Lemmon totally fucking is this amazing Felix. But my God, I can only imagine what fucking people are going to think. If I did art, and I've talked about doing this, if I do Our Town, I'm doing one family is the Munsters, the other family is the Adam family, because then it's Our Town on Bob Fisher's terms, right? As opposed to me actually,
Yeah.
as I get older, I think maybe I might do it Wilder's way. But you know what I'm saying?
Digress.
Yeah, to digress. I'm getting a little more confident. But this whole notion of the artistic, there's this thing, and it's only a metaphor for homosexuality, where artists feel outed. I mean, artists feel outed for being creative. Artists feel outed. You know, I mean, I still have trouble telling people at work what I do. Not because I'm ashamed of it, because I'm not ashamed of it. It's because I just don't want to bother with the fact that they're ashamed of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does.
So, and then this is something that can come out of John. You know what I mean? He might couch it as, I have no patience for this. I've got no patience for trying to do it straight. You know what I mean? Again, straight this time is just a straight play.
Right.
You know?
Or less queer.
Or whether it's less queer or straight or what have you. And then this gives John, I don't know how you guys feel, I like this idea, because then this gives John something active. You know what I mean? To actively move away from. We always are actively pursuing or actively moving away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you present this thing, it's not just, oh, I really want to get you back in the dress. It is, I'm not going to let them mock me
Like that.
for, you know, I'm not going to let them turn me into this.
I mean, if you want to do Lear my way,
Yeah.
we can do some Lear.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the ultimate.
yeah. If you want to do Lear my way,
We do Lear.
yeah, we do Lear.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just something for me to think about.
Yeah.
I'm just, again, I'm trying to think, you know, we were talking about ways in which for John to pursue something, you know, more directly. It's just stuff that's coming out of it.
When we saw him at the City Winery, and he shut that
Guy down with a camera.
Yeah, with the camera. It was amazing for a million reasons. But tying this in, I was like, well, we all paid money to see him
Yeah.
be the Pope of Trash.
Mm-hmm.
But we sort of couldn't take him with us out the door.
Sure.
I mean very general because
Yeah.
of the thing. And he got very upset about that picture being taken.
Yeah.
And he was very particular about, his setup for the show. And he was very much in control of the two part of the show, and then he had his answers set and all that. So it's interesting that his terms were very clear in that room when we got there. Now that I'm thinking about this, this notion of, like, no one else could really go in there and perform as John Waters. I mean, I know we're sort of touching it here, but like, there really only is one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
and I think that's what
Same with Divine, there's really only one.
I think that's what he's getting at. Either you're, you can't, either you're out or you're not. Either you're out as a weirdo as Divine.
Yeah.
Or you're just not living.
Yeah, it's not this thing, it's not like it's not a salad bar of
No.
Divine.
No.
You don't get to say, I'd like to be Divine, but I'd like to do it without the femininity.
Right.
Or I'd like to be Divine, I'd like to be John Waters, but I'd like to do it, at the Royal Shakespeare Academy.
Well, just because he's not dressed as Divine doesn't mean he's Divine sitting there. Which I think is what John
Yeah.
is alluding to. Which is
Yeah.
what I'm finding interesting about
Oh, I think so too.
your proposition here.
I think so too. That's the thing. I think the divine comes out. The divine comes out. It's like I don't like to talk with my hands, but I'm always talking with my hands.
Sure. Well, you're human.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's talk about another take. We like first of all, we like the Texas. We like the Anita Bryant. We just want to, what we do is we kind of want, in this Anita Bryant thing, this conversion story, there is a competition over what it really is, right? You just talk about, there's a little bit of divine that comes up, but you talk about what really happened, right? There's a lot of sad people, and, and a lot of the counselors were converts. And you talk about how sad they are, and you just keep making it happy, happy, happy. That's the thing to do. Does that feel right?
Yeah.
You make it sad, and oh no, Chiquita Banana, and you're like, no, it's not Chiquita Banana. It's a bunch of really sad people who. There's a lot of sad people who want to be straight, and they're afraid they can't do it, and they just sit there and beat themselves up over it. And the whole thing he's talking about, the shock thing and stuff like that, I think it's actually more interesting if you talk about, they sit us down and they have us talk about what the things that we've done, and you actually put it in terms that are, for the audience, actually terrifying. You know what I mean? And you talk about the tingler.
They tingle you every time Dorothy sings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
got it.
I mean, and then it allows you these moments, because one of the things that we're doing, and I love, is big, 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 I'm divine, this exaggeration, but it allows you, especially at this moment, for something that's really genuinely dark almost like a Byron kind of way. You know what I mean? You're telling, I don't know.
Bodies on the beach.
You guys want to just try that part of it? Let's just retry this part of it.
Yeah.
Let's just retry this part of it.
The first three.
Just the camp. Talking about the camp and coming to the camp. And when you start talking about the camp, and he wants to hear all the details, you give me what you think is the documentary sense of the things that happen there. Tell me about the terrible things they make, about the terrible mantras they make them say. Tell me about the things that they deny them. Tell me about
the endless workbooks you had to fill
make it
out.
sound like prison. Talk about really this sort of terrible things, and then you keep trying to make it big.
Oh, I know.
Yeah? All right.
Okay, conversion.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna.